Mallory Schnell on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Schrock Innovations presents the Midwest's #1 independent computer repair company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, and across the country via the Schrock desk. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks, and welcome into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company with 3 service centers to help you out when your computer's having trouble. The original service center is in Lincoln, now located at 7501 South 15th Street. For those of you without MapQuest open. Remember MapQuest? Yeah. Without MapQuest open, that is 2 blocks south of Pine Lake on 14th Street, because 14th equals 15th, right? I guess it depends what side of the building your front door is on. Also in Omaha, just across the street from the Village Point Mall, across the street from the boarded up Apple store at 168th and Burke, and in Papillion, where the Target closes early for the protection of their employees in Papillion. Still, that was frustrating. You think you would update your app? Like, we had a Target drive up, and we did a Target drive up, and we said we're on the way, and it said, great, we'll have your order ready, and it was 7:30. And so we drive in there, we pull in, it's like 7:35, we tap we're here, and then we look up, and like it's like an exodus of Target employees leaving the building, and we're like, is there something happening? And, and we're like, because we thought the website said they were open till 8. Google said they were open till 8. Their app said they were open till 8. Now, for the protection of their employees in Papillion, they have closed early. And I understand that the local management doesn't have any say, and it's a national thing. But it's still frustrating when you need that one thing. It was one thing on a Target pickup we forgot to get earlier in the day. And we're like, well, I guess we'll come back. And it was that one thing, too, that had a cascading effect. Like, you couldn't do this thing, so that therefore this wasn't ready. So the next thing, it was like when you're trying to build a car and you just don't have one of the tires. You can get a certain part of the way, but you just can't finish the job, right? That was frustrating. So I'm sure there's a lot of frustrating stories and a lot of frustrated people out there today. So one of the biggest goals that we have right now is to make sure that your computer is not one of the sources of those frustration for you. So we're going to do our best here on the program today to bring you some exciting, interesting stories. Take your calls at 888-250-2091. Also, super exciting stuff coming up later this week. We have the first interior pictures of the completed Des Moines Service Center. So it is like a brand new baby service center. There's no furniture in it. The walls are painted. The benches are in. The front desk is in. And now it's time to start transporting stuff. So now we get to go through and we said we've moved service centers, but it's been, I don't know, the last time we opened like a brand new service center from scratch was 2011? I mean, we've moved a couple service centers since then, but 2011 was the last time we opened a brand new service center. You know what? I think we should, and we want to open more going forward, so I think we should make a system for this. I'm big on systems. Let's make a system for this so that next time we go to open one, we can dust off the checklist, and say these are the things we need. So we started creating a checklist of everything that we need to open a service center. First you get the big things, like toilet paper. Got to have that. We got to have furniture. We got to have benches. We have to have monitors on the wall. We got to have computers. You think of all the big things. And then as you go through your day, all sorts of little things hit you, like electrical tape. Yep, need that. Super glue. Yep, got to have that. We use a lot of super glue. Trust me, if you give a person a choice between a $300 computer repair and a dot of super glue and a it might hold, they always take the dot of super glue and it might hold. And if it doesn't, you're out in $300 to fix it. But we may as well try. Oh gosh, what other things? Blue tape, Sharpies. Can't forget the Sharpies. Oh my gosh, Sharpies. And by the time this went on for 2 weeks, I have a 9-page single space list of stuff that we have to acquire to open a new service center. It is nuts. And of course, a lot of it you have to order. And a lot of it is out of stock, like the furniture, for example. We get a lot of our fixtures from IKEA. Trying to shop on the IKEA website, I mean, it's like trying to shop at Target after 8 o'clock. I mean, it's impossible. You can't do it. Literally, you can't check out. The checkout is broken. You can't do it. And there's only so many pickup slots. And so, hopefully as we emerge from, this the 2020 here, as we emerge from that, things will get a little easier so we can open this thing on time and get it going. But for those of you in Des Moines eagerly anticipating the opening of that service center, it is planned for the fall. Originally slated for August, it is planned for the fall still. We're a little bit fluid on the open date just because of everything that's going on, but we're going to get that open for you as quickly as possible. Now, last week, if you were listening to the show, thank you. I appreciate that very much. But if you happen to miss it, you might want to go back on the Schrock Innovations website at schrockinnovations.com, or you might go to YouTube to check out our videos there as well. If you do see us on YouTube, by the way, please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get a custom link. We have to have a set number of subscribers to our channel to get the custom link. We posted a little request on Facebook for that. Kara's begging me to do a video, like a little short video, like, hey, we need you to subscribe to us on YouTube. Do it here. So I'll make that early here next week. But go back and take a look at the show. You can also watch it on Facebook at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. That's where we're at right now, broadcasting live, by the way, if you want to watch the program. It's incredibly exciting. It's me in front of a camera talking, just like it sounds. All right, so last week, we reminded you that it's time to start installing the newest version of Windows 10. Version 2004 was released. Last week, we decoded the motivation and implications of the executive order that President Trump signed basically against social media and the unexpected fallout it could have on things like review sites and other things like that down the road. Also, we told website owners, that's you, business owners who are still in business. Can you believe the jobs report last week? And now, some people are saying that there was some funny business with the numbers or there was a mistake, but they expected like some ridiculously large loss of jobs, and instead we gained jobs. Whoa. So as long as it wasn't like Chinese numbers, that's awesome, right? So business owners, if that number is true, that is the first documented evidence that we are turning the corner on the whole COVID lockdown thing. And it's time to start thinking like a business owner again, to get out of your shell and get back out and start marketing if you've stopped, or start thinking about reopening if you closed. One of the biggest things, the biggest assets that you have, the one place where, everybody checks to see if you're open past 7:30 is your website. So we told business owners about a massive change that Google was making to websites, the ranking of websites. And any business owner knows being number 1 or number 7 in a website search is the difference between having a profitable business and having a business that fails. Literally, that's the difference. It used to be you could buy your way into the yellow pages and buy your way onto radio and buy your way onto TV. You can buy some placement in Google. It's incredibly expensive, and you can get it for free as long as you do your website right. So we told you about a massive change that was coming to website ranking that Google, when they give you a 1 year's notice on a change on stuff when they don't even normally give you any notice, it's a big deal. So if you have a website, you want to definitely listen to that segment as well. Coming up on the show today, the browser wars are back. Some of you may not have even known the browser wars were being fought, but this was back in the day with Internet Explorer. It was stuffed onto every Windows 95 computer that came out, and it literally ran the Netscape browser out of business, and it was terrible. And then all of a sudden you had this newcomer, Google Chrome, and then there was Firefox, this little browser off in the background over here, and now all of a sudden we've got the brand new Edge browser. Now, the new Edge browser is different from the old Edge browser. You may notice this after you get an update from Microsoft, because they're pushing this new browser now. Your favorites will go away. And you have to where do my favorites go? And you have to add them again. It's because the new browser, the new Edge, is built on Chrome. So let me decode this for you. There is an open source project called Chromium. Chromium is an open source browser. That open source code was originally released by Google to be an open source browser, to be the basis of the Google Chrome browser. So Chromium comes first. Google adds its own spyware mix of secret sauce into Chromium to understand and watch everything you're doing. More of that coming up on the program later today. And then they release it to the public. Microsoft says, well, we can do that too. They go and take Google's Chromium, which is open source. They add their own secret sauce of spyware on it, and they release it as Edge. And it works just as fast as Chrome, if not faster. It's just as secure as Chrome, if not more secure, because it is Chrome. And now they've even opened it up so you can install Chrome add-ons from the Chrome store. Google is not happy. Google says that's not fair. You can't take my toys. That's not fair. We have over 50% of the browser market, and you can't take that from us. We want to be the largest browser maker and the largest advertiser because the two go hand in hand when you're trying to build a monopolistic control of the entire economy. You got to have that. You can't take that from me. Yeah. Oh, it's hilarious. Anyway, so if you're tired of Chrome, switch over to Edge. It works really, really well. All right, also coming up on the program, Facebook is becoming the anti-Twitter. So last week we told you about the executive order and Twitter slapping the label on the president's thing. If you heard what Facebook was doing right now, there's one of two things going on. Either Zuckerberg is an incredibly astute political animal, which is entirely possible, or Facebook had a spine this whole time and we just didn't know it. Wow. So some interesting stuff coming up there. Also, AMD. That's right. If you have a Schrock modular computer or even many of our Schrock solid state laptops, you have an AMD processor in your laptop. AMD is the competitor to Intel. They've always been scrappy. They've always been upstart. And right now, for the last few years, they have built better processors than Intel. Not just cheaper, which is one of the reasons why we've loved them for so long, is that they're cheaper and they're upgradable, the key component of the modular concept, but now they're faster too. And that's hugely important, especially because AMD now wants to bring their manufacturing to America. So the CEO of AMD, we have that story for you. Also, you guys saw the SpaceX launch, right? The first time we put men into orbit from American soil on an American-built rocket. Amazing stuff. But you probably didn't hear about the second launch after that. Yeah, there was another launch. And it's going to change your life. We're going to tell you coming up on the show about that as well. The number to join us on the program today is 888-250-2091. 888-250-2091. So I mentioned earlier here, guys, that the Windows 10, the new version, it's out. It was released. Windows 10 version 2004 will begin automatically downloading to computers on Monday. So it's really important if you purchased your Safe Upgrade that you go ahead and run your Safe Upgrade software. Now, as promised, I have set up smoke signals. We sent out a robocall. We sent out an email. We literally put out a Facebook post. We boosted the Facebook post. We paid so you would see it. We did every single thing that we could do to make sure that you knew it was time to run your Safe Upgrade. I've run extensive segments on the program about it. Here's the thing. Only half of you have run your software so far. I'm just saying, it doesn't make any sense to buy this if you're not going to run it. Because what's going to end up happening is it's going to get auto-downloaded to your computer from Microsoft, and then people are going to come into us and they're going to say, oh my gosh, it's not working, or it blew up my computer and I had Safe Upgrade. But if you don't install the update with Safe Upgrade, you don't get any of the benefits of Safe Upgrade. Does that make sense? So you need to run your Safe Upgrade software. About half of you have done so far. There are still licenses available, therefore, at SchrockInnovations.com. If you don't know what Safe Upgrade is, if this is the first you're hearing about it, we've talked about it several times before, and I don't want to bore everybody else listening, but basically there's this big upgrade coming down from Microsoft. Every 6 months, Microsoft doesn't update you. They upgrade you to a whole new operating system. They get rid of your old Windows 10, and they install a new Windows 10, and then they move all of your stuff into it. If something goes wrong, which 20% of the time it does, and there are issues with this update, we've seen problems with certain chipsets, we've seen problems installing on certain types of computers configured in certain ways, especially older computers. By older, I mean something older than 18 months. So yes, a year and a half is considered old for a computer now. A lot of our customers who have Schrock modular computers that last 4 to 10 years have older computers. So I'm talking to you right now. If you didn't get your copy of Safe Upgrade, you can still get it. It will safely install this update for you. If you do have your copy of Safe Upgrade, you need to run it on the computer. You log into your Schrock account at SchrockInnovations.com. You click on Downloads, and you download it to your computer, and then you double-click on it to run it. It'll ask you for your username, which is your email, and your password one more time, and then it's going to run on your computer. Now, here's the thing. If you have trouble installing it, we're watching who is installing it, and we're watching people who have trouble installing it. So if you have trouble installing it, we will actually call you to find out what's going on so that we can help you install it. It's a new system that we put together for this particular update, and it's been working really well to make sure we're keeping those service levels high. And, we don't want to upset our customers, by closing a half an hour early, than we say on our website or something. That would be bad. Heck, we had to close 1 hour early last week because the Omaha and Papillion police departments both said there could be some funny business going on at the malls, Shadow Lake and Village Point. And out of an abundance of caution for our employees, we have insurance for product and stuff like that, but out of an abundance of caution for employees, we shut down an hour early to get everybody time to get home before the curfew hit. We put that on our website. We put that on Facebook. We changed our hours that day, and then we changed them back after that. It's amazing how that works. See, Target, you can do this. You're like only a multi-billion-dollar company. I mean, you can do this. I'm not a little peeved at Target, if you couldn't tell. You made my wife mad. That's the thing. You made my wife angry, and then that I'm like, come on, this is not fun for anybody. So anyway, it's time to run the safe upgrade, guys. Make sure you get that done on your computer. Also, restart your computer before you run the update. The biggest issue that we have seen with failure to install is that you have pending updates from a previous patch that are not installed fully because you have to reboot the computer to finish that. And if you try to install Safe Upgrade before you reboot the computer, the installation will fail and you'll have to download it all again. So please restart your computer so that those old patches can install and then run your Safe Upgrade software. All right, so I mentioned earlier about this thing with the Edge browser and Firefox and Chrome and everything else. This is the Browser Wars 2.0, guys. So I gave you the rundown of it briefly already. But there's some interesting stuff going on here. So Google really, really wants you to run Chrome because if you run Chrome, they can watch everything that you do, which makes advertising to you a lot easier. Okay? I'm not saying it's nefarious. They're not trying to build a file on you like J. Edgar Hoover style or anything like that, although their file would probably put Hoover's files to shame. They want it for advertising purposes. So they have incognito mode where you can browse supposedly without being watched. Well, it turns out Google has a class action lawsuit now because they were watching you in incognito mode. So everything that you thought was happening incognito was not. Secondly, incognito mode can be detected by websites you go to. So if you're browsing a website, especially a news website, when you're incognito, they may not show you the page. Instead, they may say, you're incognito, please return to a regular browser session so that we can advertise to you. Thanks. Appreciate it. If you want to see our content, you can do that. Google is getting really annoyed that you're using Microsoft's Edge because they want to maintain the edge that they have in the browser market, which we talked about earlier. And now Microsoft has begun automatically pushing Google Chrome to users. This is going to come down as a Windows update. It'll come down as part of version 2004 as well. But your Edge browser is going to be replaced with the new Chromium Edge. And it's a good thing, guys. It's a really good thing. It's a much better browser. It's a much safer browser. It is wicked fast. Somebody put it online, Microsoft has done something oddly competent here. And they've released a browser that is really, really going to make browsing a lot easier for a lot of people. Google is now taken to warning people when you go to check your Gmail and you're using Edge's Chromium that Google Chrome is the safest, fastest browser to access Gmail. So people are actually using the Microsoft browser to access the Google services, and Google does not like that. 888-250-2091. One lucky caller to the program is going to get thrown in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. We promise we'll throw you gently. And so, Cheryl, stay on the line. I see you're calling here. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, Facebook is becoming the anti-Twitter. This is a story you're not going to want to miss and will actually make you happy to use that Facebook platform. Coming up next on Compute This.
Today's fragile computers need maintenance more than ever. Your computer needs a maintenance checkup every 6 months to last beyond its 18-month expected lifespan. External hard drives are handy. You can back up multiple computers to them or even use them to move lots of data from one computer to another. Computer users have been buying the same old external hard drives for years. While our computers have been getting faster, we still do backups that take hours or watch epic progress bars creep by to move files. Schrock wanted more for our customers, so our innovators created the fastest external hard drives on the planet. Schrock modular storage devices are up to 50% faster than Seagate or Western Digital externals and are modular in the truest sense of the word. We can create whatever size and speed of drive you need for all of your needs, and all modular storage devices come with a data restoration guarantee. If you use our drives for backing up and your computer's hard drive fails, we'll restore your backup to your repaired computer for free. Fast, simple, and flexible technology solutions from Schrock Innovations. It's what we do. Compute This Pro Tip number 753. Have you ever wondered how the bad guys always seem to find a way into your computer? Gone are the good old days of email worms and I love you viruses. Nobody wants to steal your data anymore, or in many cases even your identity. Today's cyber criminals want to sell access to your computer or hold your data for ransom. The bad guys are exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities to break into systems that are supposed to be hack-proof. These vulnerabilities are always newly discovered, and the criminals have a brief time to exploit them before they get patched. Antivirus and firewalls do not prevent these attacks, but you can minimize your computer's exposure by installing all security patches as quickly as possible. The average computer needs 12 patches a week. That's not including the ones that are automatically delivered to your computer. Boost your cybersecurity by staying on top of it manually, or use a patch installation program like Secure Updater to get your computer the patches it needs. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. 3 service centers ready to help you with your computers. One of the things that Annette, our business solutions consultant, told me about this week in our meeting was that she's calling on Schrock customers, businesses that have us do their computer work for them, and she's telling them, just checking in. We're just making sure that everything's going good. Let you know we are here if you need anything. We have computers in stock, unlike most people in town. Unlike any place in town, you can walk into our service center and look at them. I had to buy something at a large electronics box store this week. My cable modem for my internet died, and I had to buy a new one. And the Amazon shipping dates were like 5-6 days out. And if we have 3 kids in the house, and no internet, not good. You can only go so far on a hotspot. Yeah, wow. So I went and got a modem, and literally I felt like I was buying something from the trunk of a car in a parking lot. Literally, I was treated that way too. Like, it wasn't just like the weirdness of not being allowed in the store, but I think there were 12 total words spoken throughout the entire purchase. For someone who is being my eyes in the store, either he's incredibly efficient with his diction, or it was just a, I don't know. I want to go back to normal, right? I want it to be normal again. So at Schrock, it is normal. You can walk in the store and you can buy a computer. You can accessorize the computer. We have the computers in stock. You can take it home with you that day. Now, we can also custom build you stuff. We've had a lot of custom build orders lately. Those take a little bit longer because we have to build them and order them and build them. But the stuff that we carry, all of our solid state laptops and our modular desktops are in stock. But Annette's telling me, Thor, nobody knows that we do websites. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I talk about it every week on the radio show. And she said, no, these business customers, I don't know if they don't listen to the show or what, but they have no idea that we do websites and marketing and process engineering and everything else. And I'm like, well, that's a problem. So guess what we do, guys? This PSA is brought to you by the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, who also builds websites. We build websites. All right, 888-250-2091. Cheryl, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This?
Hi, Thor. I had to go in the hospital, so my granddaughter dropped my computer off for me.
Okay.
And when I got home yesterday, there was a voice message from you that it was time to do the 2000 spring update.
Okay.
I still don't have my computer back, so can I still do the update?
Oh, absolutely. If you said she dropped it off in the service center?
Yes, she took it to the one by Village Point for me.
And we still have it? Oh, because you haven't
Yes.
picked it up yet because you've been in the hospital.
Yes, she's going to get it this week.
I speak English good, you see. All right, so good. So yes, you can absolutely do the update. It'll go through perfectly on the computer. In fact, when your computer is turned off, a lot of people have said, "Hey, I'm going to be out of town or I'll be traveling or whatever." If you're not able to do the update right now, just turn your computer off. And your computer obviously won't install it on its own when it's turned off. And right now, your computer is turned off because it's waiting for pickup.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. I hope you get better soon. Thanks for calling the program. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. 888-250-2091. Those are the numbers to join us on the program today. Just like Cheryl, you can get in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate as well. All right, so we mentioned earlier last week about how Twitter put a tag on President Trump's tweets, but said they're too important for us to not run them. In other words, Trump drives too much traffic to the Twitter platform for us to not allow his tweets. But there's so much virtue signaling telling us we need to stop letting him tweet that we have to at least put a label on this to say, what he says might not be true. So that was a big thing. It got the president all in a heat about it. Do you know the president has a TikTok or something? I mean, literally, like one of my guys was telling me, "Oh yeah, he's all the time he's posting," and you're just like, "He does for real?" But the big deal was Facebook this week. Facebook has started slapping labels of their own on state media outlets. That's right. So unlike Twitter, however, who is slapping a label on the leader of the free world's Twitter account gets a label, but dictators from China, North Korea, those places, they don't get any labels. They can tweet anything they want, and it's demonstrably not true, and it doesn't matter because, they're not Trump. So Facebook is now slapping labels on state-controlled media outlets, and they are not slapping labels on any American media outlets because even the ones that are funded by the federal government have their own editorial control. That's right, guys. You would think that the way that the media squawks, that the press hasn't been free, that they've been shackled for centuries here. But when you compare that to what happens in China, for example, like, let's put it this way. The social media platform on Thursday kicked off efforts to label media organizations that were wholly or partially under the editorial control of their government. It announced plans to do so last October, but it just started doing it now. Applying labels to state-controlled outlets would offer greater transparency to readers who want to know if the news comes from publications that might be under the influence of a government. So what kind of media outlets would be things that would get a label? All right, well, a check on China's, I won't even say the name, News and Russia's Sputnik network profiles on Facebook revealed that each had a label displaying as China state-controlled media and Russian state-controlled media under their respective page transparency section. Some labels, however, would not be added to new U.S. outlets because they have their own editorial control. Thank you very much, Facebook. So, once again, guys, I'm saying either Zuckerberg is a political animal and he knows what he's doing here, because if Trump loves Facebook and hates Twitter, isn't that a good thing for Facebook? But I think this is honestly a good thing for everybody, because how much have we heard about fake news? Okay, here's a great example. A lot of you saw a video on Facebook of a man who was outraged with rioters because they burnt down his business. And he was out there saying, "Why are you burning my business down? I came from the same place you did." Everything, like, just incredibly emotional video. What you may not realize is that video was from 1992. That was from Rodney King. So, is it fake news? Wouldn't it be great to know that? Well, this is one step closer in knowing that, because it turns out they did a study, and most of the the online protesting about the COVID lockdowns, all the social unrest on social media about being locked down for COVID, over 70% of those complaints were bots. They were not real people. Who spends the money, because bots are not cheap, who spends the money on asymmetrical warfare to buy bots? How about authoritarian controlled, it says my name in it, I can't, authoritarian controlled governments buy bots. Intelligence agencies buy bots to influence you. So people weren't, of course, we were all tired of lockdowns, but people weren't spitting mad, I'm going to go out in the streets and riot mad about the lockdowns. But if you would have read social media, you would have thought so because of all the bots. So these labels are a great first step in helping everybody make the logical determination of who is trying to manipulate them, who is trying to provide them real information, and what information comes from what source. 888-250-2091. Got to take our second break here, bottom of the hour. I'm a little bit late. Wayne, stay on the line. Your call is coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations can't teleport technicians to you, but online help is only a click away with the Schrock Desk. Subscribe today and get unlimited help whenever you need it. Schrock Innovations has spent nearly 2 decades working to make your technology life easier, and the all-new SchrockInnovations.com is no exception. Now you can order new modular computers and solid-state laptops directly from our website, secure your computer with our virus-free guaranteed Symantec endpoint software, find innovative new technologies like our modular storage devices, and get free help and tips. Take a look at the specials section to find sales on one-of-a-kind items, display models, refurbished units, and our latest special offers. Swing by the Compute This page to watch TV segments and archived radio shows, or even get one-on-one help through the Schrock Desk. As always, we respect your privacy, so we secure our website with the latest encryption technology and only the most secure payment methods. You can pick up your purchases at any of our 3 service centers or have them shipped directly to your door. The new SchrockInnovations.com makes technology simple. It's what we do. Compute This pro tip number 187. Recently, you may have received a phone call from someone claiming to be from Microsoft or had a message pop up on your screen telling you that your computer was infected. Do not respond to these calls or messages. They're always a scam. Microsoft will never call you about your computer. Here's how the scam actually shakes out. You get the phone call that your computer's infected. The scammers hit you with some mumbo jumbo about an infected IP address. They'll ask your permission to connect and help you fix it. Once they're in your computer, they do a bunch of fake scans that detect a lot of problems that really aren't there. You see the scan results and figure your computer's in trouble. Next, the scammers will demand up to $400 to clean up the computer and set you up with a lifetime protection. Don't fall for the scam. Keep good security software installed, like Endpoint and Secure Updater, so when things like this do happen, you know you are covered. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Fox News, I'm Karen McHugh. Amid calls from cities like Minneapolis and others to defund municipal police departments, Congress has some ideas of its own on how to police the police.
Tomorrow, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, members of the Congressional Black Caucus, and others will introduce a sweeping bill designed to curb police violence. It's called the Justice in Policing Act of 2020. And here's what it does. It would prohibit police from using chokeholds and other carotid holds. It would also alter forms of immunity for police officers who go too far. It would give the Justice Department more power to investigate law enforcement, and it would aim to better train police to reduce discrimination.
Fox's Chad Pergram on Capitol Hill. In response to more peaceful anti-police protests this weekend, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio has ended the city's 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew imposed last week. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
Another hot day is ahead with temperatures starting off in the mid to upper 70s and topping out in the mid 90s. Under partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies, will be a bit breezy as well. Those winds could gust up to 35 miles per hour. Overnight lows back down into the mid to upper 70s. With Omaha's most accurate forecast, I'm 6 News First Alert meteorologist Mallory Schnell on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Alrighty, folks, the show rolls on. Welcome in. Halftime is over. Hope you all got your potty breaks in because it is time for more Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, and obviously, Schrock Innovations funds this whole program, right? It's pretty awesome. Being our largest benefactor, I would very much appreciate it if you could partake of Schrock Innovations' wide variety of high-quality goods and services. We have 3 service centers. We're here to help you when you're having computer trouble. When you're looking for that new computer, that's a big one. June is everything is different. Everything has changed now because there have been so many epic events in 2020 that you can't really look at last year's numbers and say this is what we should expect this year. But typically June is a pretty slow month for computer sales. Not a lot of people are shopping for computers because lots of people are out traveling or on vacation. The problem is right now, a lot of people are not traveling or on vacation, and a lot of people have had the same computers at home. They've been working with them, they've been using them, and now they got their stimulus check, and they said, you know what, I'm going to sit on this, or I'm going to pay the rent with it, I'm going to do something like that. And now they're like, okay, maybe it's time that we seem to be turning the corner here after this last jobs report to go out and get that new computer. And so we're actually seeing a spike of computer sales at Schrock, and it's really awesome because usually the summer is a slower time of year for this kind of thing. The great news is we have all of our computers in stock in all 3 locations. So you can come in and you can get a Boundless, you can get a Resolute, you can get a Venture, you can get an Intrepid. Any of our modular desktops or our solid state laptops are all available in the service centers, and we can fully modify them for you if you'd like to do so. So if you're looking for a new computer, or someone in your family or maybe one of your friends is, if you would point them our way, we would really appreciate it. We can custom order just about anything that you want to get. But the nice thing about it is you can come in and have a conversation with people who actually build the computers, who actually know. Okay, great example. This is going to be something we're going to talk about on Facebook later this week, but solid state hard drives are good, right? That's awesome. Did you know that solid state hard drives have speeds? There are different levels of, not necessarily quality, but different technologies that go into solid state hard drives. One is significantly faster and more reliable than the other. So when you go into a Schrock location and you buy one of our computers, you are getting a 3D NAND solid state hard drive in every single build because they're faster and they're more reliable. And in a computer you're going to use for 4 to 10 years, we want reliable. The other option is the NVMe solid state hard drives, which of course nobody even knew. You didn't even know before I said this, there were 2 different types of solid state hard drives. Now you do. Now you're like, oh shoot, which one do I have? Well, if you bought a computer from Schrock in the last 2 years, it's a 3D NAND drive. If you bought one from somewhere else and you paid the smallest amount possible for it, it's probably an NVMe hard drive. The 3D NANDs are more expensive, you see, because in my opinion, they're better quality. And that's what it's all about at Schrock. We're building something that's going to last for you. We're seeing a really weird thing, guys. Before I jump into the call, stay with me, Wayne, here. I'll be right with you in just a second. This is something I'm going to cover it more in the aftershock, but we're seeing a really weird thing right now. If you go on eBay to buy a computer part, or if you go on Amazon to buy a computer part, sometimes we have to buy parts. We don't have all the parts for every computer on the planet. So if we need a screen bezel or a bottom shell case from a laptop because somebody broke theirs, we'll go and take a look around and see what's available. We could buy it from HP and spend like a bajillion dollars, or we can find a brand new one from a reseller on Amazon and buy it, get it in 2 days usually, and have it repaired and back into your hands, and you love it. And we get the same warranty on the part, so it works out great for everybody. Well, right now, all of those parts, every single one of them are coming from China directly from China. I don't know what the deal, and these are from independent third-party sellers. This is not like HP sending parts from China. It's like everyone in America ran out of parts and now they don't have any. So your only options left are China. And of course, there's a 25% tariff on the individual computer part you bring in. And, don't worry though, China pays that tariff, not you, of course. No one's going to pass that 25% tariff on to the consumer. No, somebody else will pay that, I'm sure. So we try not to buy those parts directly from China whenever possible because they cost 25% more and they take a month and a half to get here. But rapidly, we're seeing that's the only place that we can get these parts. So we've started pre-ordering some popular ones like batteries and things like that we know we're going to go through just so we have them within a reasonable amount of time on the way. But it's nuts. We'll talk about that more during the Aftershock. 888-250-2091. Oh, if you don't know what the Aftershock is, after the program is over, we have another quick little show after that, full of all the stuff I couldn't fit into the regular show, called the Aftershock. It's widely listened to, considered very popular. That's what I've been told anyway. And we can be a little bit more loose with the things we talk about because, we're not on terrestrial radio, so it's kind of fun. But it is still family friendly, don't get me wrong. All right, Wayne, thank you so much for your patience. Thanks for hanging on the line there. How can I help you on Compute This today?
I'm trying to finish up my stop class on the internet.
They're
I got a
doing
season
stop
ticket.
classes online?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
So every time I log on to and click on their website to finish my class, it comes up privacy error with a red triangle and exclamation mark.
Okay.
And says your connection is private. So attackers might be trying to steal your information from SSL
Right.
14.cyzap.net, for example.
Right.
And then, so you get down to the bottom and it says proceed to this place, this website, czap.net,
Yep.
and it says unsafe. And I've done this 20 times and it always brings me to this thing.
Right.
But I'm hesitant to click on that. I don't know what that is. For all
Gotcha.
I know, somebody taking over my computer.
Those basically what you have there is a secure socket certificate that is not configured properly on their end. It's not a problem with your computer, it's a problem with their website. So what a lot of website owners don't realize is that when you get a secure socket certificate, there are different types of certificates you can buy for your website. And the cheapest one is the one that just covers the single domain. So if it was like nebraskasafetycouncil.org or something, you can get a secure socket certificate that covers that domain. But let's say you wanted to throw a subdomain underneath it. Let's say you wanted to throw, maybe all of a sudden you're doing your stop classes online and you weren't before. And so you threw that together really quick. And you put up a subdomain like stopclass.nebraskasafetycouncil.org. Your secure socket certificate would still apply to that connection. It would still keep it secure, but you would get a certificate error saying this certificate is not properly configured, which is what that error message is that you're getting. And it may be an attempt by a bad guy to trick you. So if the bad guy set up like I'm going to steal your stuff.nebraskasafetycouncil.org unknowingly to the Nebraska Safety Council on the website and then directed people to go there, they may think it was safe because it's the Nebraska Safety Council, but it's not. And so that's what the browser is warning you, that something is not right. Something doesn't pass the smell test here. But in this particular case, I did not know they were actually doing stop classes online. In this particular case, they probably threw that together so quickly that nobody thought to get the secure socket certificate figured out. So you're okay in that particular instance clicking, I understand the risk and proceed when you do have to go through there. So thank you very much for the call, Wayne. I appreciate it. That's a great question because whenever you see that normally, you don't want to proceed. In this particular case, though, you're probably okay doing that. All right, so AMD. AMD is the manufacturer of the processors that we use in all of our modular desktops, as well as, two of the 3 solid-state laptops that we build. And now AMD's Lisa Su says that there are shifts in thinking about the U.S. semiconductor manufacturing market. While the U.S. semiconductor industry, let's just say processors, okay? The U.S. processor industry has long sought greater federal support. The AMD CEO said that there are new awarenesses now of the significance of the industry and creating secure supply chains. In other words, other countries like China, for example, are willing to subsidize the production of processors in their country. The government will pay to build factories and things like that to get people there. Kind of like the way cities will pay to build a stadium to keep a sports team. It's kind of like that. Now, the problem here is right now, about 50%, the United States, first of all, has an overwhelming majority in intellectual property, innovation, in processors, semiconductors. We can outcompute anybody in the world easily. And when you think about it, when you're scared of things, when you're scared of China, when you're scared of Russia, every single super high-tech weapon is controlled by a microprocessor. If your microprocessors in your defense net are faster than the microprocessors in the weapons of the attacking country, you will win because you are able to more quickly defend against the weapons. Does that make sense? So, don't we want to have full control over building the fastest processors in the world right here in America? We build half of them right now, but we rely on inputs from a lot of foreign countries, including assembly labor. And right now, we need to change that. And so the United States government is beginning to realize there may need to be some subsidization of the industry to get these companies to put their assembly facilities back in America. They want $37 billion in federal funding and various other efforts to support the industry, particularly domestic manufacturing. Sue said, we have spent time on this topic of U.S. domestic manufacturing, and I think it's part of a broader conversation that's really about U.S. leadership in technology. The U.S. is a leader in technology and high-performance computing, and our goal is to continue that particular leadership, Sue said in a web chat. With that comes the need for secure supply chains. The reason I brought you this story today, this is a little bit inside baseball for Compute This, but the reason I brought you the story today is because when you purchase a Schrock modular desktop or one of our higher-end solid-state laptops, you are buying a processor from the company that wants to make their processors in America. It is very, very difficult, if not impossible, to find parts for computers that are made in America. And this is one of the companies that is trying to do it. So when you go to buy your next computer, please consider an AMD processor instead of an Intel processor, because this is the company that wants to make processors in the United States and have a secure supply chain that is managed completely within the borders. 888-250-2091. Got to take our final break of the program, guys. When we come back, you heard about SpaceX launching men into space from American soil for the first time since, gosh, I was telling Ryan, since he was 6 years old, Ryan, in the Papillion Service Center. And the last time we did this was when you were 6, Ryan. He was like, oh, that's pretty cool then. Well, you didn't hear about their second launch, though. The first launch was really cool. Might change your grandkid's life. The launch that they did last week will change your life. And we're going to tell you what happened last week coming up next on Compute This.
If you can dream it, Schrock Interactive's website developers can make it happen. Refresh your website, automate sales and marketing, and grow your business today with Schrock Interactive. Some people like desktops for their power and upgradability, but nothing rivals a laptop for computing on the go. But why should you have to sacrifice performance for portability? The innovators at Schrock want our customers to have it all, so we created a new kind of laptop, the solid-state laptop from Schrock Innovations. Solid-state laptops are built using the same frame and mainboards as regular laptops, but we've removed half of the moving parts while more than doubling the computer's speed. The result? Laptops that boot to Windows in 6 seconds or less, respond instantly to your commands, and can survive drops that put most laptops into the data recovery lab. Starting at only $499, solid-state laptops give you speed, reliability, durability, and performance for the same price most people pay for a cheap disposable laptop. The next time you're looking for a laptop, check out the solid-state laptops at SchrockInnovations.com or visit any of our service centers. Simple, solid, fast technology is what we do at Schrock. And now Compute This Pro tip number 373. Everyone knows we're supposed to back up our computers and then check those backups periodically to make sure they're working. So why don't most people do it? Lots of people have different ideas about what backing up means. Is it copying files to a flash drive? Is it using a fancy backup program? And how do you know it's working anyway? Windows makes backups easy through free software that's already on your computer. Open your control panels and click Update and Security. Select Backup and choose from all of the available options to get a regular, reliable checkup. You'll need something to back up to, like a Schrock modular storage device or some other backup hard drive. Backups usually run once a week, but you can always change the frequency. The best part is that if your backup ever fails, you'll see a notification in the lower right corner by your clock telling you something's up. Backing up your important data has never been easier. So take a moment to back up your computer today. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company. Compute This Pro Tip 299. There are enough mothballed computers in U.S. homes to give one to every man, woman, and child in the country. Many of these computers find their way into landfills where they can leak cadmium, lithium, and other nasty chemicals into the groundwater. Schrock Innovations is very proud of the fact that we recycle more e-waste every year than we create. You can drop off any old or broken computer equipment to our service centers at any time, free of cost. We only charge $15 just for monitors because they are especially difficult to process. No appointment is required, and we accept all computer-related equipment like printers, keyboards, speakers, and accessories. Additionally, the rare earth elements in computers can be recycled right here in the U.S. to reduce our reliance on supplies from foreign countries. Take a moment, drop off your old computer equipment today, and Schrock will make sure it's properly recycled and put to good use right here in the U.S. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. The number to join us on the program, 888-250-2091. Schrock Innovations is open Monday through Saturday from 10 in the morning until 8 in the evening, and Sunday from noon to 5. If for any reason that would ever change, we'll let you know. Wherever you look, you'll find it. Because we are webby like that. We can do these things. It's pretty cool. But no, Schrock Innovations throughout the year 2020. I saw a meme on Facebook, and it's like, kids that are born right now when they're in high school learning the history of 2020, and they're just like, no, there's so much. But yeah, we closed early one day, and it was an hour early one day, and that was because law enforcement had a specific threat against the specific shopping centers across the street from where we were located. And for the safety, the actual safety of our employees, we said, you know what? Tonight, we're going to close it early, 1 hour early, so everybody can get home before curfew. Not at 4 o'clock and moving pallets of fertilizer. I want to go to Walmart and just buy all the dirt and fertilizer and say, what are you going to put in front of the doors now? Huh? I'll return it the next day. That's fine. But anyway, they'll probably stack the pallets up in front of it. I don't know. But it's getting kind of stupid, guys. I mean, I understand, these are companies that are making national decisions. But anyway, so we're open Monday through Saturday from 10 in the morning until 8 in the evening. And on Sundays, we're open from noon until 5. So in the service, you can stop at any time. You can call the service centers. We also have, while we're open, we have Facebook chat options available on the website now where you can actually chat with a technician on Facebook, which has proven to be really, really popular. Now, keep in mind, your chats ding the cell phones of my technicians. So you can look at this one of two ways. If you get a speedy response, I've got a tech somewhere who was looking at their phone when you texted. If your response takes a little bit longer, it's because I have an amazingly dedicated staff who are working diligently on getting the computers on the bench finished and don't have time to look at their personal devices at work. If it goes over 4 minutes, though, I make sure somebody sees it because I get a ding too. All right, so let's jump into the phones real quick. Teachman, thanks for calling the program.
Yeah.
How can I help you on Compute This?
Well, I'm coming out of retirement, become a lobbyist again, and I have to ensure that my computer is entirely private.
Okay.
And right now, I don't think it is, but
Right.
I'm willing to bring it in and
Okay.
have you work me over because I'm illiterate to, the 10,
Gotcha.
Microsoft 10.
Well, the guys in the marketing department probably won't like me saying, come on in, Mr. Teachman, we'll work you over, but good. That's probably not a great way to say that. But no, we do have other people that are in similar situations to you, people who are crisis managers for politicians or Schrock customers. And literally, you would imagine the amount of information on their computers if it got into the wrong hands or the hands of people that didn't want to have it in their hands, basically, it would be pretty serious. So no, we take the information security in our service centers very seriously, and we do have a full stable of security solutions that will not only keep your computer safe, but it will also keep it safe in the scenario where sometimes when you've been away from the computer for a while, from a professional standpoint, and you come back, you can fall for a lot of the social engineering tricks. People sending you fake emails and clicking on fake links and things like that. And it's really important you have software on your computer that's going to protect you from that to make sure that you don't make a silly mistake. But yes, absolutely. You swing that into the service center and we are happy to get you all secure, taken care of, up to date, and maintenance so that your computer will perform well for you going forward, because there's going to be a lot of lobbying happening all over the place. And everybody hates lobbyists unless they're lobbyists for your cause, right? All right. Let's continue on here. One more call before we end the program here. Wayne, welcome to the show. How can I help you on Compute This?
Yes, back when Windows 10 came out, you had us make recovery disks for our new. Are they still good, or do I have to update my recovery disk every once in a while?
Great question. So the recovery disk is a bootable flash drive. It's a flash drive that if your computer stops working, you can put the flash drive in, and it will give you repair options. So that was very, very important at the time. Now, since then, recent updates to Windows 10, as you've gotten new versions going forward, they've actually created a recovery partition on your hard drive. So to answer your question, your recovery disk that we made for you in 2015 is sorely outdated. So you should make a new one. The good news here is you don't necessarily need to, because it's on your hard drive if you need it. If your hard drive would fail, we obviously have them at Schrock, and if you're not near a Schrock, you can download one from the internet. Microsoft has made it very, very easily available, unlike 2015, to make your own recovery disks and update them and keep them current. Thanks for the call, Wayne. I appreciate it. We got you in the drawing there as well. All right, so you heard about the SpaceX launch, where we put men into space, first time ever from, well, not ever, but first time from Earth, from American soil, from Earth soil. Boy, I'm full of them today. First time from American soil in years and years and years, we put men into space. Thank you, SpaceX. That was awesome. If you saw Elon's face, like he was just like he was like a little kid. So there's a meme going around. It's like, find someone to marry that looks at you like Elon looks at his rockets. It was like, wow. But yeah, I mean, literally amazing stuff. But then after that, SpaceX launched another rocket. And inside that rocket, you've heard of the Starlink satellite constellation, right? The bane of astronomers and the love of people who like the internet. So this is a cluster of satellites in orbit around the Earth that literally will look like a field of stars. It's depending on how the light hits it. So astronomers don't like it because it's kind of junking up the night view. You can actually see it with the naked eye from Earth. But it's nowhere near as big as it needs to be or is going to be. So SpaceX launched another 800 internet beaming satellites into orbit on one rocket. This is the kind of stuff that Elon is doing. So before, a satellite is like the size of a Volkswagen Beetle, and you launch it into orbit and it does its thing or whatever. Elon said, we don't need a Volkswagen Beetle. We could do this with a laptop, right? We need like a satellite dish and a laptop and like an extra Ethernet cable, a really long one, to go down to the planet. And then we could like launch it into orbit, right? And so he did. So he put 800 of these tiny little briefcase satellites in a rocket, launched them into orbit. He added 60 Starlink satellites to the cluster of 800 that is going to become a cluster of 30,000. And he is only a few hundred away from being able to offer internet coverage from space across the entire surface of North America with latency at 100 milliseconds. Now, what that means, the big thing about space satellite stuff was the latency. I need to draw a winner. The latency of the satellite transmission. So when you're sending a signal back and forth through space, it takes time, which means your internet's slower. You can't really game on it. Well, Elon satellites, there's so many of them, the latency is going to be around 100 milliseconds. It's going to be great satellite internet, and it's going to be affordable. So in the rural areas, this will be a huge option for you. Congratulations, Teachman. You've got yourself a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Stay tuned for the After Schrock. We'll see you next week for another edition of Compute This.
Fueled by Hy-Vee, home of hot deals and hundreds of price declines. This is News Radio 1110 KFAB, Omaha, an iHeart radio station.